This is Max Shears for Pro Boxing Fan. I'm glad we're joined by world champion Fabio Wardley. Before the build-up to this fight, Jermaine Franklin said he felt disrespected. I mean, you've been in that gym. I imagine in the gym you've seen a lack of disrespect. I imagine Moses full of respect for Jermaine Franklin ahead of this fight.
Yeah, look, he feels disrespected, I think, by the public and the public opinion and the way people think this fight is going to go and how easy everyone's saying it's going to be. But for Moses and in the gym and seeing him and knowing him, that hasn't changed how he's trained or his outlook on it at all. It's all exactly the same. Like he wants to win this fight. He's not taking it easy or taking his foot off the pedal. So yeah, look, maybe from the outside world there's been a bit of disrespect in terms of Franklin's view, but not from inside the gym at least.
And you know, it's well documented that you guys are training at the same gym. How long can that last? You know, I mean, maybe one would imagine that, you know, you can't necessarily have two colliding rivals in the same gym.
Maybe, but at the moment we're not rivals. At the moment we're two people who are on separate paths. We're two people that are working towards. I'm working towards picking up multiple titles. He's working towards picking up a title. So they're different trajectories entirely. And right now we're stablemates. And also, like I've stated, there's a 10-year age gap between us. Like I'm not trying to be in boxing for another 10 years at least. And then by that time Moses will only be 30 and he could do another 15 plus years in the sport. So there's no rush, there's no demand for anything like that. I understand the public because stylistically how people think fights go together, and from their point of view it'd be entertaining and all the rest. But realistically, no, it's nowhere near. It's not anything close. It's not a conversation that's ever been discussed between me, Ben Davison, or Moses.
But you know, you say that you're on separate paths, but if Moses wins his fight and you win your fight, I think a lot of people would like to see you guys fight next.
They would like to see that, yeah, but also I've been named on the list for Oleksandr Usyk, so even if that was the fight that maybe someone, the public or whichever would like, I want the Usyk fight, and I want the likes of Tyson Fury, and he's on the comeback, and the likes of AJ and those type of guys. Like, I'm in a different space right now. I'm looking up the same way Moses is looking up in terms of people who are holding on to world titles. Yeah. I'm looking up in terms of people who are holding on to, like Oleksandr Usyk, either multiple world titles or the big three, I call them in the sport, the Fury, the AJ and the Usyk. They're the ones I'm looking at. So we're looking in different directions.
Fabio, how do you compare this Jermaine Franklin to Dillian Whyte in Saudi Arabia? How do the styles match up? How do you see this fight almost going just from the style of Jermaine Franklin?
Yeah, look, they're entirely different fighters, entirely different styles. Jermaine Franklin with his style is a lot more tighter, a lot more closed, a lot shorter, a lot more kind of almost, I don't want to say technical, but he's just a bit kind of cuter with the work that he does. His IQ is good as well in the ring, so look, he's going to pose some different problems, and I think that's exactly why he's been brought in, is because he'll pose some different questions for Moses that he hasn't seen before.
I know sparring, but Dave Allen before this fight said if it gets to round 4, round 5, could we see Moses' temperament maybe go out the window? When you see Moses sparring, it gets them later rounds. How does he do in them later rounds? Because we've not seen that already. Yeah,
look, no one else has seen that, and comparing sparring to a fight night is very different, but it's nothing I've seen in sparring either. And don't get me wrong, I've not sat there and analysed his sparrings and watched them from round 1 to round 12, but for when I have seen him in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, he's still just as sharp, just as on the ball. The coordination and everything is all still there. Like, at this level, we're always training for the fight to go 12 rounds, so he's been doing that for a while now, so it won't be nothing new to him. Look, it's always, from first-hand experience, it's always different doing it on the night, but I don't expect there to be any difference.
Oleksandr Usyk said he doesn't want to fight Moses Itauma because he'll break him, and he turned down the fight with you. What do you think the intentions for Oleksandr Usyk are with the last few fights of his career?
Money, I think, is the long short of it, and fairly not. I don't know. Maybe not.
Fabio, you did say you want to fight the winner of you and Dubois, though. That's what he said in the most recent interview.
Yeah, I think in his most recent, he said he's doing the fight in the pyramid against the kickboxer, and then there's me and Dubois, and then he wants to fight Greedy Belly one more time. So yeah, look, 3 fights, maybe that takes about 18 months or so for him, and then maybe he's done. So yeah, look, hopefully he does fight me, because I've been in a similar position before before where I've been on his hit list, and he said he would fight me after the Parker fight if I won, and then I won, and then he changed his mind. So hopefully it doesn't happen 2 times over, because again, proven throughout my career is I only ever want to test myself against the best out there and the best in the division, and he is top of that tree. So yeah, I'd hate for him to retire and me not be able to kind of push myself or test myself against that level.
And listen, Fabio, in my opinion, you're the most exciting heavyweight in the division, and I think everyone would say Daniel Dubois is also up there as well, and you guys are facing off in the near future. A lot of people have kind of made out that Dubois is the better boxer, and there is a possibility that you get hit slightly too early, it could be over early. Do you think that's a fair analysation? Do you think people maybe are sleeping on your boxing as well?
Yeah, I think people have been sleeping on my boxing since kind of the early stages of my career. I think I've proven time and time again that I get better with each fight, I improve with each fight, I adapt as a fighter, and I adapt to the fighter in front of me as well. One thing I've been able to do, and one thing I have proven, is to be able to change, not just come into the fight with a good level of skills, fit, ready to fight and all the rest, but also change on the fly as well. And if the fight's going in a different direction, or it's looking different or coming across different to me, in of the moment, be able to change there. So yeah, I think in that situation, that's nothing new to me. I'm always the underdog in terms of skill aspect. I think I always will be. But again, the 9th of May would just be another point for me to prove.
Thanks, guys. That's it now.
Cheers, Fabio. Thank you.